Good evening, everyone. It's time to begin the board meeting for Monday, January 12, 2015. And may we have a roll call, please?
Okay, Paredes?
Yes, here.
Carol? Here. Mark? Present. Simmons?
Here.
Lunsford?
Present. Inform is present. First on the agenda is audience comments. This is the opportunity we give members of the community to make a comment on items that are not on the agenda. We have a request for audience comment to make a comment from Mr. Waldrop and Bill Roos. Post, excuse me. Can you please step forward?
We have a prepared statement for tonight. Can I read that?
Go ahead, please.
We are here tonight as concerned parents and residents of Homewood to unfortunately come before you because of an assault that took place at Parker Junior High School on December 12th on my fiance's 7th grade 12-year-old daughter. We are not here to hash over the incident or all of the specific issues of the day in question. Rather, we are here to advocate for the good students and for the better security and protection of all. Irrespective of gender, Lisa's daughter is the victim and is a further victim of policies that are either outdated or not being followed as they have been written. Lisa's daughter suffered head trauma and potentially serious injury that thankfully was avoided. She was released from school under her own quote-unquote recognizance, only to have injuries that were determined to be more serious as found by her orthodontist and a lengthy stay for observation at a hospital that night. Clearly, a need for more specific protocols should be implemented in instances of assault, battery, or head injuries. It is a known fact this is in place in other school districts, as it should be in this day and age of the many horrific school attacks over the last decade or two. Your own policies outline how students who have any behavioral and or previous incidents of fighting, bullying, and disobedience are to be dealt with. Despite assurances in this regard, Lisa's daughter has innocently come in close contact with her assailant on 2 subsequent occasions since the December 12th assault. Fortunately, and again, a recipe for repeated offense or disaster due to poor application of stated policies has been avoided. We could elaborate on more, but we want to finish to advise that the policy, that the police were never contacted by the school. We filed the police report on this incident. Because it involves minors, the law protects disclosure, as it should. But your own policy, and I quote, this is from your own policy book, cooperative communication with local police departments, quote unquote. In accordance with district policy, the administration of Parker Junior High will maintain communication with local police departments to share information regarding students who are involved in cases of illegal or controlled substances, weapons of any type, gang activity or suspected gang activity, and serious crime or felony. Policy is clearly not followed. Gloucester Police Department even told us if this incident, as described, involved an assailant of age, they would have been found to have committed assault and battery, a felony. When we informed Superintendent Gloucester of this policy, its lack of enforcement, and his position on this specific topic this afternoon, he quote-unquote declined to answer and requested to do so 3 times. A policy mandating police be called in all incidents of assault should be implemented and enforced. We want to speak and advocate for all students, not just our daughter. Other facts in this case might astound you as well, but we ask each and every one of you, if this were your 12-year-old son or daughter, wouldn't you be here tonight standing up for what you believe is right or wrong, not hiding behind bureaucracy and demanding change for your son, for your daughter, and for all who follow? Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for your comment, and thank you for making us aware. I apologize, or I'm really sorry to hear, I should say, that your daughter had the experience that she did. Are there any comments?
So, full transparency, my daughter and her daughter are really good friends, so I'm aware of this from a different angle, but This was the same letter that was sent to the superintendent and the board was CC'd on it. This is the same incident, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. From a safety standpoint, have we looked at our policies, or is this something that we're looking at right now? Because I would, in light of this incident, that letter that came through before, and then just other incidents that I am aware of in this past year, and I don't know, what has happened in the past. I think I would like to ask for a call. I don't know if the right name is a policy review, and I don't know the terms we have done on our board, so I don't know if we can, how do we look at specifically the safety and security policies. And I don't know if it's at Parker or if it's at 161, but I believe that there is an opportunity for us to look at some things and how they're implemented.
We have a policy review every time we bring policies to the board, 3 times a week, or 3 times a year. But as far as the specific handbook procedures, that is approved every July. And that has the procedures on how we deal with discipline in our schools. We continue to monitor that. We have things in place that will address those issues.
Well, when was the last time we addressed this policy specifically? I'm a little concerned because we're talking student safety.
I
think what we do is we just review them as a whole. We don't specifically look at them and say, this is a good policy, this is a good policy, this is a good policy. Yes, we overall, whenever there is, a broad review, I think you're talking about more specifically, especially in this particular policy, looking at it and saying, is this still the policy we need to go with? Do we need to make adjustments? That sounds like what you're talking about, as opposed to an overall, our policies are great.
And it is, and actually it's because, and again, I'm just kind of separating personal interaction and the policy piece of it, but I do, I'm aware that it is up to the school's discretion whether it's communicated to the police or not, and I think that is something that we probably, not probably, but that's the word we should look at and make sure our school systems, we changed a bit, we continue to change. This is a policy that we should continue to look at, given some of the incidences that continue to occur, specifically in junior high.
So maybe we could ask our council if they've seen other best practices that they've seen within other districts, as well as maybe we can review the policy.
We currently use CROS, so we're up to date on all state. The best practices is what we already follow.
Those are common practices for the state. We want practices that may be specific, that may resemble more of what our district looks like.
Is this more a matter of specific procedure, or is this?
Policy is given to us by press.
Right.
The procedures are how we implement that.
Exactly.
Our procedures, they are best practices, they are up to date, and we're working through those.
So I guess what I'm asking for then is not, and that's not because I know we went through that before. And we had this discussion about other things, is that best practice, but we should probably look at things a little closer, given our school district. We have a very unique situation here. And this is one of the best thing I love about the diversity here. Do our safety procedures, do our security procedures address these specific issues that we may be having? And we may not. What I don't know, I know, like a letter here, I know personal experience. What I don't know is, is there an increase in incidents? I don't know. Is this consistent at Parker? Are we violent crimes, assault, things like that? So I don't know what those would look like, and if our policies are correctly addressing those to protect both the victims and the victims. And it may be huge issue, may not. I just don't have enough information. That's why I'm asking about that. About reviewing the policy with regards to Parker Junior High. Not even I know it's a 161 policy, but specifically Parker Junior High, I mean 14, lots of energy and lots of things going on, lots of finding yourself.
Is that kind of like the discretion of the administration? Should they call the police? We're going to handle this way. Should we not call the police in this situation and handle it this way? There's just too many options on the table. With certain instances of assault and battery, there should be one mandated thing across the board, because that's going to cover the person that has been the victim, and then all the laws are in place for the assailant already. He's covered. That person is covered because they're minors, but the first person that's being the victim here, it's just like really put that in place. It should be a mandated thing across the board. It shouldn't be a discussion, well, this time I think we should handle it like this. This time we should handle it like this. We shouldn't call the police if there's any question of head injury. How do you know what is the extent of the head injury? How do you know what is the past medical history? To cover the school, the board, the district, the student, the police should be called. Or strict things should be put in place, not just, okay, it's a scale here. And I'm just mad, I advocate for all kids. I'm a nurse, I advocate for everybody. My child's gonna be leaving next year, but she was really, really wanting to leave this year. She is the vice president, she's super smart, she wants to attend school, but then you have an issue here of safety and policy and procedures in place to protect her. And it's not adequate.
So the board like to review this policy?
I want the specific policy.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we bring this policy forward again for review at an upcoming county meeting? All right, thank you. Can you let us know if the county that you
Can I ask, is this an ongoing, we have to maintain some protection for students across the board, but is this an ongoing inquiry for behavior at Parker currently, or is this something that's been resolved, or
I don't think we can talk about it before.
is this something issue?
But
I don't, I'm asking this without knowing anything, and I'm asking, is this something that we can discuss now, or should we discuss this later on in some?
When we, I guess I'm not unclear what you're exactly asking. The policy and procedure?
Right, just in terms of attaching it to, I guess more of a specific example that's more relevant to your specific concerns. Is there a way that, I'm trying to say things this right. Is there a way that we can examine policies and procedures in a way that has specific students that we could look at in the past, or in light of these specific concerns, I guess?
Each month, the board receives a discipline report on major and minor incidents that take place. That's some data that can be looked at.
Okay.
We can look at the procedures that we have in our schools, and we can look at policy. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes.
Because the bullying thing has really been defined and really detailed, but one of the major issues is that because of students and the relationship of one knowing the other, and one possibly saying that one is maybe the boyfriend or whatever, playing and hitting is not really defined. A hit is a hit, assault is assault. And there is a big difference between the two. An assault is an assault. And my child was an assault. And this is horrific. And I had years over it. I mean, I've adopted children. I'm a big time advocate for all kids. And I just want to make sure that from this instant on, if any of the board has children coming to Parker or coming to Heather Hill, that there is strict guidelines in place for other children being abusive to other children. There should be a no-hit policy, period. Because this is affect my child's education.
Thank you very much for sharing your concerns. Next on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Mr. Dustin?
Yes, thank you. Enrollment dashboard, pull that up quick. It's doesn't change much from last month. You can see those numbers. We will be talking more about that at the board retreat as far as our numbers and our sections go for the following year. Wellness Day. On January 5th, we had our Wellness Day. It was a huge success. I know that Ms. Wilson's in here. I'd like to thank you. Nurse Canal did a fantastic job. Staff truly enjoyed it. Ms. Langston stopped by to see the events taking place. Things range from instructional activities to cooking to skiing outside. It was very, very good for the staff, and they appreciate it. So we'd like to thank you on that. Internet safety presentation. We're collaborating with the Flossmoor Library tomorrow evening. Will be an internet presentation on safety, and that will begin at 7 o'clock. So if anyone is interested, please stop by. And next will be our Fitness Fest. Our Wellness Committee has done a fantastic job this year as far as getting things prepared and providing fitness opportunities for our community. But on January 25th, which is a Sunday at the Homewood Flossmoor High School, between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, there will be a fitness types of activities for our community to utilize. We'll be broadcasting that more. Students must be accompanied by adults, though, so if anyone asks you, the adult has to be with them at that time. Our board retreat is going to be January 28th. We are preparing that information as we speak, and probably be in pretty good shape by the end of next week in regards to that information will be presented. But that meeting will be January 28th. And it will start at 6:30. I will ask Ms. Perino to send out an invitation to our people who are on the ballot for our board elections. It will take place this spring so that they can come here. There'll be a visitor, of course, but we'll want them to be here. Next, we have the Harlem Wizards. They will be playing on March 1st. Against the Homewood, or against our school district, and our team is called the School District 161 Slam Dunks. And I think that I will be playing. I'm trying not to. They want me to rep. Mr. Rosinski repped, I believe. So we're also talking with Dr. Mansfield. He's trying to put a celebrity group together for the third quarter so that they never want to play that celebrity group in the fourth quarter because they want that fourth quarter to be able to beat us. In addition to that, the Mardi Gras, that is other part is on the February 15th at 6 o'clock, and that will be at the Grape and Grain in Homewood. There will be an auction taking place, so if you're interested, please attend that as well. You have a flyer that is sitting in front of you. Next on my list is Mandarin Chinese. You have a lot of information in your packet. Next year, we've been working with the high school on this project for a little while, and they will be having Mandarin Chinese next year. We're going to send a survey home, hopefully at the end of this week, but maybe at the beginning of next week. And that survey is going to talk about the foreign languages that we will be offering at the 8th grade level of the junior high. And that will be Spanish, French, and Mandarin Chinese. The descriptions of the courses will be going home as well. Our parents, if they elect to do that, and if the child qualifies for the class, they will have to take the child to the high school in the morning. That's a standard practice for us. The class will start at 7:35. I'm working with Dr. Mitchell at this point. We will be transporting the children back to that school, his school district, as well as our school district. But the parents must take them there. Mandarin Chinese is a difficult language, but I think there's an interest in our community for children to take that. So that will be an offering that will take place. Right now, it's still in the infancy stage. It's been approved by the high school's Board of Education, and we are still planning, but I wanted the board to be aware of that. And the last thing on my list is the strategic plan. Is there anything that the board needs? All of the information that we presented when they came in to present to us the companies, that is on the board docs. Is there anything else you need to help with the conversation at our board retreat? Yes.
Well, I want to make sure that I just did this piece of it. We talked about just internally, because I know Ms. Lansdowne brought up about the fact that if, right, so what were the internally, and there were some questions asked, and I apologize because I don't remember all of them about if it was the cost of the man hours, how much it took for you guys to do that. And I believe that was just on the discussion. And you may already have it, not that I just didn't remember.
There's an executive summary of the procedure or process that took place last week.
Okay, all right, so we can just see how much time it took. Okay.
Is that the only thing? Okay. If you need anything, just let me know. Send me an email. We can add it. That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Duster. Next on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda items. We will be approving the minutes from past board meetings as well as guest meetings in the district, and the request to appoint the associate superintendent to prepare the request to authorize the associate superintendent to prepare the annual budget, which we do as a matter of protocol each year. I want to thank anyone who's given the district gifts. We really appreciate your generosity. Before I move forward, I'd like to ask the board if there are any items on the consent agenda that they would like to allow you to make any comments about items on the agenda. I just have, go ahead.
This is about the minutes too?
Yes, yes.
There was one, my computer is down, so. There was one issue in regards to the minutes. It said that in regards to the superintendent evaluation, that I believe it quotes you as saying that the evaluation was very subjective this year.
Yes, and I caught that as well. I don't recall saying that the evaluation should be subjected this year.
Evaluation tool.
The
Evaluation tool. Sorry.
Well, it will be subjective, but I think the comments, it will be extremely subjective. It will be subjective simply because we don't have quantitative measures, because we've never had a formal evaluation tool. So I think extremely subjective misrepresents whatever that means. Any other comments? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda items as presented with the exception of the comment of the modifications to the minutes.
So moved.
Mrs. Odom, second. Mrs. Harrell, roll call please, Kathy.
Okay, Odom?
Yes.
Carroll?
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Paredes?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Langston?
Yes.
Lunsford?
Yes, the motion passes. Next on the agenda is approval of the bills. Mrs. Marks had the bills for this month. Mrs. Marks?
So yes, I had the opportunity to review them, as everyone has the opportunity now, because my mom to do a special dig. They all looked good. I did have a question regarding the legal bills to start out. I know you've probably looked and noticed that they've gone up significantly in the past, year on month to month, year to year, up over about $10,000. So, this probably raised bells with everybody. So I called and talked to Ms. Lavella about it. It was explained in quite satisfactory and great detail, but I did ask her, and she actually offered to present them in a way that might be much more useful to the board in reviewing the minutes. Broken out in greater detail. I'll pass this along so you can see what it looks like. And I would just recommend that going forward, we ask to have her prepare this as an attachment to the bills so that we don't have to continue to make that call and ask that same question over and over again just to see where it all breaks out. There were some big increase. The biggest increase was the line item for board policy in November. Almost $2,000 was spent on legal bills for board policy. And that's as much detail as I have on that. Something you might want to look at, see what we're asking our attorneys to do.
That was the second.
And just to be clear,
It's the highest, actually, 1,800.
No, there's a
November?
2,800.
Oh, that's just for board policy.
No, right, I'm saying
Yeah.
of that month, that was the second to the lowest line item that was spent. So we just spent a lot of money in November.
Oh, well, no, we did. Not questioning that, just saying that it was just, if you look at the board policy breakout for the entire year, it's higher than it has been. It's pretty high. So it's just something that we should probably talk about at some point when we do those things. But otherwise, I want to let you know.
Yeah, to be clear, board policy is kind of a catch-all. It's one of those areas where it doesn't really fit into anything else. It's questions general that we have. A lot of times it does relate to, in some way, shape, or form, to a school board policy because of the issue that we happen to be having. It doesn't necessarily relate to, say, the writing of a policy or a specific question to, you know, what we contain in policies. It's kind of a catch-all.
Understood. So I think you'll find this interesting, and I would suggest, I don't think we need to vote on it, I would suggest that we institute this as part of addition to our bill review, because I thought it was very useful. So that said, I recommend we approve the bills for the month of January in the amount of $1,426,939.70.
Is there a second? Second, Mrs. Odom. Roll call, please, Kathy.
Okay, Paredes,
Yes.
Payroll,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Odom,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Langston, Lunsford.
Yes, and the motion passes. Next on the agenda is approval of payroll. We have a recommendation from the administration to approve payroll for last month in the amount of $1,330,593.61. I'll entertain a motion to approve the payroll as recommended by the administration. So, Mrs. Odom, Mr. Paredes, roll call, please, Kathy.
All right, Simmons,
Yes.
Odom, Paredes,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Langston,
Yes.
Payroll,
Yes.
Lunsford.
Yes, and the motion passes. Next on the agenda is approval of the revised superintendent evaluation for Mr. Duster.
Yeah, at our retreat our seminar we had with ISB, there was discussion of a few revisions. Those have been made the best that I understood. So are there any questions on that? I believe it covers everything we discussed. Yes.
Not a question, just a comment. I appreciated that meeting again. I thought it was very transparent, very good. I thought that Ms. Tony's facilitation brought out the questions, and we were able to really answer some questions really well. I thought everybody put forth their questions, their comments, concerns, and I really did appreciate the opportunity. So it was another evening meeting. I was like, another evening meeting, but it was very well worth it. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion. In fact, I'll ask Mrs. Farrell to make the motion since she shared that you made. And you don't have to.
Okay, let me make it right.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the revised superintendent evaluation as presented.
This is a great motion.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Motion, is there a second, Mr. Paredes? We have roll call,
Can I
please.
make this question?
Okay, go ahead.
So, I'm sorry.
I said, ooh, my stomach hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your stomach hurts. So, review with us again when this is implemented, when it fits in the cycle, and how it works with a multi-year contract.
I'm trying to tool. That's it. Right. She has a question. Right.
Well, it's about the tool. When will we, maybe it's to Mr. Lunsford, when does this get implemented in our cycle? And how does it work with our review of the superintendent and future superintendents with multi-year contracts?
Okay, well, you attended all the meetings, but I'll refresh your memory. It goes in place this cycle. It goes, we use the current goals for the superintendent. So we will be taking the current goals that the superintendent had prior to us having a tool, and we will have to evaluate those using the tool this year.
Okay, so that will be done
This will be done in spring.
in the spring, March-ish.
Did you want us to go through all the next steps and put a rough date on these, or?
Well, because we don't have dates, so I just wanted to make sure.
This one we actually did yeah, we did. Specifically, the superintendent, we were trying to figure out what was not pushing him, but then we get done before the new board came into.
Right, but we didn't, do we have a formal time? I thought we were going to get a
We have a board
set
cycle that we
timeline.
approve with the ISB rep every year, and we were part of those meetings as well.
But I think when we were in our retreat, we did say date. We said dates.
But I'd like to, do we have a format? Do we have that? Do we have that?
Do you have it on a sheet of paper?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have it on a sheet of paper?
I don't, actually, come to think of it, I think that, hold on. You do have board cycle.
Right,
Right.
I understand.
Okay. We have our steps, and step one was superintendent self-evaluation. Okay. Our goal is to be complete by the time the new board takes over, so they're not stuck with theoretically having to go through this process that they inherited from the previous board.
In the minutes we just approved spells out that the superintendent will submit his self-evaluation by February 2nd,
Right.
and that the board will complete the entire evaluation process by April 13th of this year.
And we're going to do that using his current goals, but plugged into the tool
It's a new
that's
tool.
available.
And then is that institutionalized? That's my question. This is a multi-year contract, and how does this fit going forward? And
So at the
then
beginning of
moving
each year,
forward-
we set new goals.
Right.
And we will be meeting, as stated here in the minutes, with Perry Hill from the ISB on June 15th to talk about quantitative goals that we can put in the next superintendent evaluation.
Okay. All right.
The question I have kind of a follow-up in that, the really cool tool was from Korea, I can't remember the name of it. What is the name of it? This is going to be a good
I
option.
thought it was February 6th was the date, so I have to look at that. I know the minutes say February 2nd.
No, I just thought that there was a certain piece of paper doesn't give us an opportunity to get more there, so.
Is it possible to put this in an overlay that goes with the board cycle so that the community, so that everybody knows exactly where to find it and it's all together? That would be, I think that would be great. But then again, and then how does this work going forward? Because we didn't really have that discussion with Barbara. I know this wasn't really her thing. She's really specialized in these evaluations. Kind of didn't talk about that much.
No, but she did a great job. I guess I'm not quite sure where you're going.
I just want to know what our plan is going forward and to have it formalized, so.
You mean in
everybody
terms of
has
next
it.
year? Well, once
Well,
we
we've got a
have,
superintendent on a multi-year contract, so
Right.
I would hope that this evaluation process would sync with that whole contract, and it would all be
Right.
formalized, and then going forward, when future boards look at this, they have the whole thing to review. So it's just all set together. Right now, it's a couple different moving pieces. I just don't feel like it's all linked well together. And I
Okay.
just am asking that we link it well together.
I absolutely agree. Do you,
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Mrs. O?
I'm saying that that's her opinion about this particular tool. We have it's succinct, it's in order, and I believe that it's complete. And we had opportunity prior to our actual board meeting to make whatever comments necessary. I believe we got this board packet last week. Whatever recommendations that we had an opportunity to make suggestions then. And I understand Ms. Marks's opinion as to whether or not she feels as though it's complete. I believe that it is complete, that we have a tool that works, and that putting in the actual dates would benefit as long as, when we put the goals in, we still have to input his goals in there as well. Putting the actual dates in there won't hurt, but it is a complete document. It's not in pieces. And I don't want the public to have an impression other than, because they don't have an opportunity to see what we're seeing.
Right.
I do not want it to be imagery being reported. I don't want the public to have some impression that we just threw some documents out there and it's not a complete document. It is a complete document. We have done
You are
work. We
correct.
had the opportunity to discuss all of these things in advance, and we put it together. And Lisa and her committee have done an excellent job of doing that and making it happen. In the retreat, we had an opportunity to put our input in. Craig had an opportunity to make whatever recommendations he wanted to change, and it is a complete document.
My comments aren't about the document, the tool. They're about the process that the tool is used, within the context of the tool being used, the whole time frame. It's not about the tool at all. I just want to make sure
I hear that.
if we approve the tool, that we have context for where the tool is used. That was just my question. We haven't addressed those issues.
No, Mr. Paredes has a copy of our board cycle.
No, I understand the
We
board
approve with our
cycle.
ASB rep every year, and it says when evaluation should be done, when the budget should be done, when a contract should be reviewed. We have a cycle, we have a process.
And it's also in the minutes that is just approved.
Correct. So we have a motion on the floor. I mean, we can debate this, but I think we should vote, and those who support, and those who don't, don't. And we will all agree to accept the will of the
Mr.
board.
Lunsford, I'm a little confused. I had a question to just lay out and confirm how this worked. I'm not arguing, disagreeing, or agreeing on anything. This is the discussion piece.
And I'm a little confused too, because we've been discussing the superintendent evaluation process for 10 months now.
Yeah.
It should have been done 6 months ago. And every time we bring up a discussion, you keep bringing up questions that cause the discussion to go on. I believe when we approved the first time before these changes, you emailed the board the night of the meeting with a laundry list of questions to keep this debate going. The superintendent has to have an evaluation, as we have been told by our IASB representative. We need to approve this process and move forward.
Can I just quick comment? I didn't hear, from Ms. Marshall's comments, I didn't hear anything that the tool was not, I didn't hear about the tool. I didn't hear about, okay, so this first year we did talk about that this was an interim year, so we kind of, these dates were pushed, so that February 2nd, 8 or 6, I don't know what it was. And but that going forward for the superintendent and the superintendent, we did talk about that it is in line with board cycle.
Board cycle.
We did not put specific dates in there, which I don't know if that was your question, but that part we did not, but it did that is something I think you do at the beginning of the year too, because you're looking at what the calendar looks like, you're like, okay, it's February 6th this year, it might be February 8th next year, so those things I think.
That'll be a June discussion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so this is
a very simple comment about how this would play out and whether we would do it. And Mr. Lunsford, this public forum is the only place we have discussions. I don't know where else to ask. One would ask questions or discuss as a board. This is where it would be.
No, and you're right.
I think you're just saying the timeliness of it.
And to Mrs. Odom's point, we had a public meeting on December 7th, and the 17th, it was an open forum, and that was the time for us to flesh these things out. We had our state representative here, I believe for the second time on this issue.
Our state representative.
Board representative. And so why are we continuing to go through this?
Just had one last question.
But we keep having one last question, and therefore we continue to be delayed in getting this done. We need to get our board work done.
So are
We
we
plan on
done with
voting on
comments
it
and questions at this point?
I'm sorry?
Are we done with comments and questions? It seems like we're.
Is the board ready to vote on this?
Are we ready to
Yes.
move forward?
The board is ready to vote. Remember roll call, please, Kathy?
Payroll,
Yes.
Paredes,
Yes.
Odom,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Langston, Simmons,
Yes.
Lunsford.
Yes, the motion passes. Next on the agenda is the approval of the personnel report. Mr. Dustin.
If there are no questions, I recommend the personnel report as stated.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation by the administration to approve the personnel report.
So moved.
Okay, so Mrs. Odom and Mrs. Langston, are there any questions?
I'd like to discuss executive session.
Okay, so we have a request to table the discussion and go into executive session, clarity. So we'll do that. Next on the agenda is the school district library grant program. Said Dr. Ward? No. You'll take care? Go ahead, Mr. Dustin.
Okay, every year we apply for the school, state, or district library grant, and this year our application is for $1,746.75. Once awarded, we will utilize that to purchase library supplies for our students.
Are there any questions for the administration regarding the recommendation? Now I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation as made by the administration. Mrs. Harrell, Mr. Paredes. Roll call, please, Kathy.
Okay, Paredes?
Yes.
Odom? Yes. Carroll?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Langston?
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Lunsford?
Yes, the motion passes. All right, there's been a request to go in executive session. I'll entertain a motion to go in executive session. May we have a roll call, please, Kathy?
I have a motion for executive session.
Mr. Simmons, is there any motion?
Yes.
Seconded by Ms. Harrell.
Okay. Carroll?
Yes.
Langston? Yes. Simmons?
Yes.
Odom? Yes. Paredes?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Lunsford?
Yes, the motion passes. We're in executive session. I anticipate we'll be in executive session for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. We'll come back in session.